Hi, this is Charlie, and this is my Cycle 4 presentation. I'm going to continue building upon Professor Halverson's suggestion for a script for student last logon from Cycle 1. I would like to thank everybody for their suggestions. And I do have to admit at this point I'm still a little disorganized. I should construct a checklist of all the suggestions and try to see which ones are appropriate to put in the tool. But there were three main themes that stuck with me once reading through all the suggestions. Um, Folks suggested a daemon to gather the information, and also the parameters were confusing from the tool. Right, I had like 7 or 8 different parameters, and they started got confusing what they meant and the different options when they're combined. And also there was mention of okay, gather information and store it in a database. This way you can, I guess, for historical purposes, or then to retrieve it again. So therefore, my solution for this cycle will be a Python script that I wrote that will record the student activity and execute infinitely, and it'll update a SQL-like database. This is my daemon solution. Also, I wrote some Python scripts in CGI, and that was to allow users to search through the information in the tool, and the CGI will produce dynamically generate tables. So in other words, it'll provide a nice output instead of just the output being in a terminal screen or whatever. It'll actually be output through a web interface. Okay, I just want to show where my GitHub location is in cycle 4. Under CSC 842, I'll have 3 subdirectories: CGI bin, that will contain all my CGI code. Under the daemon bin will contain my Python daemon script, I'll call it. And then in a SQLite will contain the SQLite database. And I'm going to cover all that soon, next few minutes. I just want to show an example of the tool now. Okay, this is for Last Logon monitoring. You'll be provided, of course, you provide the class, starting student, ending student number, and then the various flags here for the reporting level, the full Last Logon report. If you like a summary of the number of the logons and a summary for the total time per logon. And again, this will shell out to execute the last command on the host. So you hit submit, and here's what the report will look like. The last activity results. These users are still logged in. Number of logins per student. Also see total time. The numbers there may look a little fishy, but for those users in my virtual machine, I did not log off. I logged on with them, and I did not log off. So maybe for the next cycle, I'll log in and log out a few times with different user IDs to show maybe some more realistic numbers there. And also, the never logged on at the end. I show all the users that did not log in. So those users do not exist in my virtual machine. Okay. Also now, the next screen is to search for students editor monitoring. So I changed a little bit the activity, doing the activity monitoring. Instead of just searching for everything, what I search for is editors. I mean, like, so for example, like VI, VIM, gedit. Well, my thinking here is probably Dr. Halverson is only concerned with stuff related to his computer science classes. If you think about it, right, students will be editing files, editing programs, compiling programs, and running programs. I don't think he would really care to see in a listing whether someone ran the calculator, for example. I just so therefore I'm trying to just provide the information he would be interested in. So I want to start with editors. Maybe you can comment that and whether you think that's a valid assumption or not. Anyway, so again, pretty much like the last search screen, you have a student range, a starting, ending student, an additional on the screen, additional searches for the date, right, from a certain date. So then the result from hitting submit, you'll receive this report. And for example, it shows all the students that were editing programs, when they were editing programs, and whatnot. So maybe in future cycles, I can build upon this tool to include additional information and some type of analytics based upon this information. That's my hope. We'll see how far I get with it. Okay, I just wanted to show here the Monstu database that I use, that my daemon writes to record the current user activity. And there are the various fields. And interesting, I could not find that SQLite had a date field. So therefore, I used 3 integers for month, day, and year. I thought it'd be easier when searching if I had those fields, because I wanted it. I thought it'd be easier. So okay, and then I also then selected from that, show that I do have information in that table that daemon was running, and it's updating that table. Okay, I just want to go over the daemon, my monitor students.py, and I'm just showing some interesting snippets of the code. Here's an example of how I connect to the SQLite database, and there's 2 interesting commands that I had to include. Was the progma commands that I got off the internet, because just out of the box when you install SQLite, it's really slow doing updates, like so slow that I thought there was something wrong with my computer, and I had to do some additional research. And they said to include these 2 commands to speed up your I/O by over 300% with them. People are claiming. So therefore, I added these 2 commands. When I did it, definitely speed up my SQLite tremendously. Okay, now here's an example of how to embed a SQL statement and do a select from within Python to the SQLite. Pretty basic stuff here. All the different fields that I use to do the select. Okay, here's an example of my CGI Python script for the search page. It's pretty simple. You have to import the CGI and the CGI TB, the CGI modules. The CGI TB is good to have because it can print out any errors that you have within the script to the actual web page, so you can see what the error is. And as you can see, it's fairly simple. You can include the HTML code, embed it right in your Python script. As you can see here, I have names, variable names, and whatnot for the fields with default values, maximum values, and then my these screens execute the post method, where they'll call another Python script. An example, the display monitor Python script. So let's go here. Okay, here's the display monitor. Interesting how to get the form values. You got to call CGI.field storage for the form, and then simply get the value for each field. Again, I'm just showing the SQL the select command that I constructed from the various values from the form. And then when I go through each row that's selected, if editor found, that's just a simple routine that contains it's just an array of editors, right? VI, VIM, gedit, whatever. So if it matches one of the editors, then I'm generating the HTML code, the HTML by put a table and put a row into the table. Okay, that's it. Thank you. Take care. Bye.